Hi there, and welcome to Canceling COVID. So good to be back with you on this Tuesday. We meet every Tuesday right here at 11 a.m. Canceling COVID, an opportunity for you to find out what's happening and update in our community, but most importantly, real people, real talk, and real resources working to empower you and encourage you to hang in there as we continue to deal with something that's been in our part of our lives for more than 2 years now. We're talking about the pandemic, preferably soon to be the endemic. And here I'm Tanya Rivens, been with you more than a year and a half now. It's kind of surprising, but glad that we're here and some really special people that have been able to help that make it possible. I could not take for granted. I want to say thank you to Groundwater Solutions, one of our sponsors, groundwater-solutions.org, groundwater-solutions.org. 704-596-0505. Now, we're coming off of a holiday weekend, the Juneteenth celebration all around the city, all around the nation. And I must say, here in Charlotte, we had a wonderful celebration. Thank you, the 25th annual celebration for the Juneteenth Festival of the Carolinas. And it was great seeing everyone out and just saying thank you to those we stand on their shoulders, and they saw it fit to mark this and a memory in history that we could pick up the torch and keep this tradition going, and most importantly, educate our community and our young people. So coming off a holiday weekend, thank you for starting your Tuesday with us. If you had yesterday off, hopefully you did. If not, we certainly understand, as long as you understand what the celebration is about. But with that said, a lot of talk in the news today. The big deal is a vaccine that's now being rolled out for children ages 5 and younger. And I wouldn't even attempt to have this conversation without bringing on my good friend, none other than Dr. Trasha Black of Groundwater Solutions. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you so much for having me, Tanya. Hi, everybody.
And
happy Juneteenth.
Yeah, it was so good to see you out there at your celebration, you and your family. And
Yes.
it's just great to come together to show so much pride, and because of so much that has been planted out there, but pride in what our enslaved ancestors were able to accomplish. You know, that's so rewarding for us.
Yeah, for me, it was just a beautiful festival. We are a beautiful people, and the music was fantastic. The vendors, I got dresses and jewelry. The food was excellent. I had a ball.
Great. And we can't say either, like you said, for you celebrating us, we know there's so much more work to be done.
Yeah.
But, we've got to start somewhere as we continue with that celebration, more work in store. But let's talk about this. Yeah, let's talk about this vaccine, because I know some people, we got people already who are hesitant as it is adults. And now we're talking the need for children. It's being rolled out today. I know there are a lot of questions about what parents should know as they make this decision, not to take it for granted. Some people are feeling, I don't know, my child is so young. So,
I think we have the same issues that we had with the adult vaccines, that, parents are going to have to make an informed, educated decision.
Okay.
What we do know, I'll tell you what we know.
Okay.
There are 2 vaccines for young children ages 6 months to 5 years old. Well, there's the Pfizer, and Pfizer vaccine is for children 6 months to 4 years old. Okay. The Moderna vaccine is for children 6 months to 5 years old. So let me tell you about both vaccines. And so you all just bear with me where I'm going to give you a lot of details. If you're out there and you have a child in that age group, someone that you love, a neighbor, a niece, a grandchild, then you might want to get something to grab a pen and paper, because these are a lot of details that you have to consider.
Okay.
So with the Pfizer vaccine, again, that's ages 6 months to 4 years old. There are 3 doses that are required. Okay. You're going to take the first dose, and then you're going to take a second dose 3 weeks later, and then a third dose 8 weeks after that. So it's going to be 11 weeks to get your child fully vaccinated. Some of the good things about the Pfizer vaccine is Pfizer decided to go with tolerability. They wanted to minimize the potential side effects in children, because we know how children are. One, they do not like needles.
Right.
Every child is going to scream. Well, there are some who don't, but for the most part, children are going to scream when it's time for the needles. So they there are more doses, but the side effects are more rare. There is only 3 milligrams of the antigen, which is 1/10 of an adult dose, which is why you need to have the 3 doses to get to full protection.
So, Dr. Black, let me ask you real quick, and don't lose your train of thought, but you mentioned needles. Any other options? If not, like no liquid, no.
Not at this moment for
So it's
young
only the
children.
needle.
It's only the needles.
Okay. All
Mhm,
right.
mhm. So we just have to do some work to prepare the children for that. And
Okay.
yeah, and we know that once you get past the quick pinch, there's really no trauma. It's the thought that scares the children. But
Right.
what we do know about Pfizer is that you're going to have less fevers, less irritability after that,
Mm-hmm.
less discomfort than the potential side effects of Moderna.
Okay.
Okay. With the Moderna, there are only 2 doses, and each dose, they're 4 weeks apart. So within 4 weeks, your child is going to be at full protection with the Moderna vaccine. The Moderna vaccine has 25 milligrams of the antigen as opposed to 3 milligrams with the Pfizer. So it's a larger dose. It's going to be quicker protection, but there are more chances that you're going to have some after effects, some side effects from the vaccine. Um,
And what are some of those side effects?
Fever is a big one. Upset stomach, irritability. The biggest side effect of the vaccine for young people that we've seen, and when I say young people in this category, I'm talking about children 5 and above, particularly the adolescents, myocarditis, which is the inflammation of the heart.
Ooh.
They did not find this in the trial studies with the infant and young children vaccine, but
Mhm.
they also recognized that the population, the size of the trial sample was really small. And myocarditis is a very rare side effect. And they do not believe that the sample size was large enough that even if it was a potential side effect, that it will show up. So if it is out there, we'll see it once it's released to the entire population. So we need to pay attention to that. Any side effects, I would call your doctor, just so that we can eliminate that as a possibility, because we don't know what those symptoms are going to look like in small children.
So I have a couple questions. What if 6 months seems really young? And this is just from my perspective and where I sit. Should they wait till the child? I know this is all an individual
Mhm,
decision. And ultimately, I know what you're going to say is check with your pediatrician,
mhm,
get the advice from them. But what if I just say, okay, my child's 6 months, that's just a little bit too young. I'm going to
mhm.
wait. Do you see any value of doing it at 6 months versus doing it at 5 years old?
Well, I think it's really going to be based on your lifestyle.
Okay.
If your child is out in public settings frequently around large groups, if you are home, keeping your child at home, I think you have less risk of exposure to COVID-19. So it's going to be a personal choice by how concerned you are about COVID-19, which we should all be concerned, and
Right.
two, what risk you think that you have as well as your child. Because even if your child is home, but you're out in public settings on a regular basis, then you have the potential to bring exposure into your home to your child. So how safe, are we quarantining our children? If they're out there, then we probably need to be concerned.
Well, Dr. Black, one of the things that's pretty glaring to me, and I like the way you prefaced it, was, Pfizer wanted to go more along the lines of being more tolerable. But there
Mhm.
seems to be a big difference, if I heard you correctly, in the dosage, the effectiveness. Moderna was 25,
Moderna is 25 milligrams of the antigen, and
and
Pfizer is only 3 milligrams
that's per dosage.
per dosage. Yes.
Okay, so eventually you get up until to 9.
Right, right. And what we're seeing though is there's the same effectiveness after the final dose.
Mhm.
There's really negligible how effective both vaccines are. So with the Moderna, you're getting 25 total milligrams, 25 and 25, and with Pfizer, you're getting 9 total milligrams. And they, they've done the research and they've timed it out. What we found is that after the 2 doses of Pfizer, you've got 3 milligrams, and then 3 weeks later, you're getting 3 milligrams. At that point, there's very little protection from COVID-19 after the second dose. But waiting those additional 8 weeks, when they give you the additional 3rd milligram, then you're fully protected. So it's something about, when the antigen gets into our bodies, our own immune system kicks in. And so whatever happens inside of us that makes us increase protection, it's happening with the smaller dosage. What your risk is taking you longer to be protected. So those parents who want, full protection really quickly, then they're going to want to look at that higher dosage Moderna, where you're getting a lot more of the antigen more quickly to lead to a greater protection quickly.
Well, we saw a lot of cases, though, of children starting to spike as we started another resurge. Now, as far as I know, in the last I saw, we talked in the last conversation about how Mecklenburg County went from green to moderate. And at all purposes at last check, we were still at moderate.
Yes.
But if you recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, as we were heading into the summer season, as kids were still in school but getting ready to get out, we started to see a huge spike in cases among our children. Now they're out of school. These children normally 5, unless they're in daycare programs, they're probably not going to be out in schools around a large group. Would you say that's a pretty accurate conversation until we start back in the fall?
Right. I think that's pretty accurate. And I think that the timing of the release of the vaccine is very intentional. The goal is that, children will have time over the summer to be vaccinated. And then by the time school returns, and then again, in many, especially the lower socioeconomic levels, children are in daycare and they are in preschools starting with age 3 and above. So we're hoping, I think the CDC and the U.S. government is hoping by August, children will be vaccinated, as many as possible, so that when school resumes, there will be less threat of a spread.
Well, that sounds like some really good planning. And I just want to, from some information that I have here that comes from a state report, and I will acknowledge who it is, but it talked about that we saw the spike dramatically in 2022, peaked at 1,150,000 cases in 1 week, and ending June 9th, 88,000 child COVID-19 cases were reported. But when we go and look at the loss of lives in the deaths, it says among the states reporting, which was 46 states, it says that children were like 0% to 0.32% of all COVID-19 deaths, and one state reported 0 child deaths. So looks like there is a good grasp on we're not losing our children to COVID as we did as far as adults.
Well, I think, we all know that COVID-19, the danger of it is the way that it attacks pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
And for the most part, you're not going to see children with large numbers of pre-existing conditions. They're, like a new car, they're still new cars, and their blood is flowing normally for the most part. They don't have a lot of buildup in their cardiovascular systems. They're energetic and athletic, and, they don't have those issues that adults have. So if COVID has no pre-existing condition to attach to and exacerbate, then there's less likelihood of a casualty. And so for kids, and we do have some children who are born with illnesses, and those are the ones that we have to protect, and therein lies the rub with parents. If your child does have a pre-existing condition, when we know they need to be protected, but we also know that there are some dangers with the vaccine and pre-existing conditions. So these are things that you really have to kind of dive in with your healthcare provider and see what's best for your child.
So Dr. Trasha Black, Groundwater Solutions, We've got a parent that's also going to join the conversation and kind of share their thoughts, her thought on what decisions she plans to make. But what are you hearing? You're our connection to the community,
Mhm.
grassroots. Can you share kind of the feedback that you're getting from parents?
Well, I will say, primarily in the Black or Brown community, many parents are saying, no, I'm going to wait. And I think just like the initial rollout of the vaccines, and you had a whole population that said, I'll wait 6 months or a year and see how it does with other people.
Right.
The parents that I'm interacting with, that's what they're saying, that they're going to wait a little while to see how other children are faring to determine whether or not this is something that they're going to include in their child's health care.
And there's that mistrust again, because by all reports, there was rigorous testing and study. And even you would admit, we've learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not maybe from dealing with children ages 5 and under, but we've come a long way from where we started.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've been extra careful about this, but I can also understand legitimately the concern.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know when you guys will be offering this, or are you offering the dosage yet?
Yeah, so the vaccines arrived in North Carolina, from what I have heard, yesterday. So
Okay.
they are in the state and they are being distributed to healthcare providers. So we will be making the vaccines available for small children at events only. We will not be offering them in our office because, again, with the vaccines, once you open a vial, you have to hopefully use it all or as many doses as possible, or the vaccines will be wasted. So we're trying to let the vaccine stay with folks who are going to see lots of young people pretty quickly on a daily basis, such as pediatrician offices. And since we don't see infants or children under the age of 5 a lot in our office, we believe that that would be a wasted vial, and we don't want to do that. So if we have an event, like we do have some daycares who are asking us to come out, so
Okay.
we will save those for event driven actions.
Which would also help you monitor and keep up with the dosages, because there's more than one. So they'll have to come back. I believe you said Moderna had
Absolutely.
2,
Hmm.
Pfizer has 3. Oh,
Right.
these poor babies. I know people
Yeah.
want what's best for their children. So
Hmm.
again, at the end of the day, it's a very personal decision, but certainly talk to your pediatrician and do what's best for your child. So with that said, we need for you to provide some updates on what's going on with Groundwater Solutions.
Wow. So we have opened up another primary care practice in Gastonia, North Carolina.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
And depending on what we see as the population, this is a new group for me. So we're going to learn about their pediatric population.
Mhm.
If there's a large in the age group, then we'll have the vaccines there daily. But we're excited. We'll be expanding our primary care here in Charlotte
All
as
right.
well. So we're pretty excited about that, going into full integrated healthcare, whole person healthcare. And we're just going to keep going and doing what God asks us to do.
Well, some big things popping for you. We're excited for you as well, and congratulations.
Thank,
Real good stuff.
thank you. Our,
Again,
our, our medical practice name, just so you guys know, is Modern Medical in
okay.
Gastonia, North Carolina. Again, you can reach us at 704-596-0505. If you're in that community and you're looking for healthcare providers who will take care of your whole health with natural opportunities as opposed to medication when it fits, we are the healthcare provider for you. So please give us a call.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Trasha Black, groundwater-solutions.org. She provided the number, and you see it on the screen. 704-596-0505. Modern Medical, now in Gastonia. God bless you for all the work that you're doing in our community, and we so appreciate you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you again for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you. Glad we made it through it.
Absolutely. And we're so grateful for Dr. Trasha Black. Again, we're on Water Solutions, and we will continue to have this conversation, I'm sure. It's not an easy one when you're talking about young children And, it wasn't easy with adults trying to decide whether to take on the issue of getting vaccinated or not. So I believe if I heard it correctly, Pfizer goes from 6 months to 4 years old. Moderna is 6 months to 5 year olds. So we'll have more conversation in the upcoming weeks about this. In addition to that, I had a parent. She had planned to come on, but still a little uneasy about going public with her decision. And certainly that's understandable. But we will continue to work at it. And if you're a parent that wants to share your opinion, you are welcome to reach out to me at rivenstanya@gmail.com. That's rivenstanya@gmail.com. Or drop your comments in the chat as we continue to have this conversation. Real talk, real resources, and real solutions. Before I go, I also want to uplift a couple of things that are happening as I bring this up and remove myself. This it's for a good cause. Again, it supports a 501c3, and you get to meet some really fabulous individuals. So check that out, and please take the time for me to head on out of the way. As always, life's challenges make you better, not bitter. I'm Tanya Rivens. We're at it every week, folks. Not flawless, but certainly doing our part in keeping you informed about COVID. Real talk, real solutions, and real resources. I'll see you on Saturday. Make sure you join me. Sounds of Inspiration. It kicks off at 10 a.m. at Praise 100.9 FM. It was so good seeing everyone out at the Juneteenth Festival of the Carolinas, and we really appreciate your love and support for Praise 100.9 FM. You are why we are out and about in the community. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your day. Stay warm. The heat is picking up. Be well, be safe, be alert, and you got it. Check on your neighbor. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks for tuning in.